Hey yo, welcome back to Well-Oiled Machine, No Baby Oil, the only podcast where we celebrate the dubs, roast the L's, and dissect the fantasy crimes that got y'all in your feelings. I'm your boy Darrell Fields, and you might think I look different. That's cause you smoking that same crack Whitney was on. Let me tell y'all, week 5 was a movie. We had blowouts, we had bench heroes, and we had one of the most dramatic scheming, I can't believe he did that, moments in fantasy history. And at the center of it all, that black American 2G, the only undefeated team in the league standing tall while the rest of us out here looking like we drafted our lineups blindfolded. Aberg. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We got a 168-point explosion, a Travis Hunter heist, and a text chain that got more drama than a mafia movie. So grab your drink, sit back, and let's get into it. First up, the blowout of the week. All right, let's talk about Team Here We Go Again versus Team No Justice, No Peace. Y'all. 168.1 points. That ain't just a win, that's a statement. That's like showing up to a knife fight with a nuclear bomb, a smirk, and a try me attitude. Team Here We Go Again dropped 168 points on Team No Justice, No Peace. And let me tell y'all, Team No Justice, No Peace ain't got no justice, no peace, and no defense for that kind of firepower. Brookwee, let's break it down. Team Rico Dowdle, who even saw this coming? Nobody. 1 week you're on the waiver wire, the next you're carrying teams to victory like y'all welcome. 33.6 points, baby. And Team Justin Fields, man, was out here throwing TDs like Oprah, throwing cars. You get a TD, you get a TD. Everybody get a TD. 31.6 points, and he made it look easy. Now, Team No Justice, No Peace, y'all need to change your name to Team No Wins, No Hope, because this wasn't just a loss, this was a fantasy genocide. And the trash talk after, oh, it was glorious. Team Here We Go Again's manager was in the group chat like, y'all need to bow down. And honestly, after a 62-point blowout, they might be right. Bro, if you're on Team No Justice, No Peace, it's time to start tanking or praying or both. Preferably both, because Lord knows y'all need all the help you can get. Now let's talk about Jamar Chase, the garbage time god. Man was out here struggling all season, and then, bam, he dropped 6 catches, 110 yards, and 2 TDs, mostly in the fourth quarter. And let me tell y'all, if you bench Team Chase this week, you deserve every bit of that L. That's like benching your girl because she might be mad at you. Spoiler, she's always mad at you. And Chase, he was mad too, mad enough to save your fantasy week. Now, let's not forget, last week Chase was out here yelling at his coach on the sidelines. And what happens? He gets 10 targets the next game. Coincidence? I think not. Turns out squeaky wheel gets the grease, and Chase was out here squeaking loud as hell, and it worked. So if your fantasy team is struggling, maybe it's time to start yelling at your lineup too. Just a thought.
All right, let's quickly run through the rest of the Week 5 carnage because we ain't got all day. Team Big Papi versus Team Last Year in KC. Team Big Papi stays undefeated. Team Last Year in KC stays last year. Y'all need to change the name to Team This Year Still Sucks because, honey, it ain't looking good. Team Mama T's Wranglers versus Team Scent. Team Mama T's Wranglers are officially the team to beat. Team Scent still searching for consistency like a GPS with no signal. Y'all ever think maybe the signal's just bad? Team EJ Taught Me versus Team Not Like Us. Team EJ Taught Me got taught a lesson this week. And the lesson is, don't start Quentin Johnston. If your team didn't make the highlights, don't worry. Neither did half the league. But at least y'all ain't 0-5. Oh, wait. Some of y'all are. Our condolences. All right, y'all. Gather around. Gather around for the tale of Team Greatness versus Team That Black American 2G, the fantasy football heist of the century. This ain't just a game, nah. This is a Shakespearean tragedy. This is a Scorsese crime drama. This is Ocean's 11 meets Friday Night Lights, and it all went down on Monday Night Football. So here's the setup. Team Greatness is down by 12 points going into Monday night. They need a miracle. They need a Hail Mary. They need Travis Hunter, the two-way phenom who can score on both sides of the ball. And what does Team Greatness do? They bench their defense, Olukun, who was sitting pretty with a solid performance, and they roll the dice on Travis Hunter. And let me tell y'all, Team That Black American 2G was not happy. Now, let me paint you a picture of what happened next, because what happened next? Pure chaos. The group chat was lit, the texts were flying, and the drama was Oscar worthy. So Team That Black American 2G's manager, let's call him the sheriff, he's in the group chat tracking every snap like he's the FBI. He's counting offensive snaps. He's counting defensive snaps. He's over here like 23 on O, 12 on D, like he's calling plays for the Chiefs. And the whole time, Team Greatness's manager, let's call him the schemer, he's just sitting back, sipping on his drink like, y'all mad? Now the sheriff, he's losing his mind. He's like, and that shit really counting. Like he can't believe this is happening. He's over here auditing the league rules like he's the IRS. And the schemer, he's just dropping bombs like 6 more points. Like, oh, you mad? Stay mad. Eber, now here's where it gets juicy. Because the sheriff, he's panicking. He's like trying to manipulate the system. Like, this ain't fair. This ain't right. And you know what the schemer says? Trav was on the bench, but I need A. Like, I needed a prayer, so I made my own luck. And you know what? For a second, it worked. Ibrahim Travis Hunter was out there balling. He was this close to pulling off the fantasy heist of the century. And the sheriff, he was one play away from throwing his phone through the TV. He was sweating bullets. He was pacing. He was praying to the fantasy gods. He was like, if Hunter gets that pick 6, I'm done. My phone's going in the TV. And y'all, he was not joking. Hebert, but here's the twist. The ultimate irony. The fantasy football gods give it, and the fantasy football gods take it away. Because Travis Hunter, he only scored 815 points. 815. And Oluokun, the player they benched, he scored 14 points. 14. So if Team Greatness had just left Oluokun in, they would have won. But no, they had to get fancy. They had to play 4D chess. And this time, checkmate went to Team that Black American 2G, Abro, and the Sheriff. Oh, he was gloating. He was like, goddamn 2 grams. You got the game broke down. Andy Reid don't even know that shit. You a bad boy. Like, you played yourself, my guy. And the schemer, he just laughed. He was like, it's chess, not checkers. See you at the end. Like, I lost the battle, but the war ain't over. And that, my friends, is how Team that Black American 2G stayed undefeated. They out-schemed the schemer. They survived the heist, and they're still laughing all the way to the top of the standings. So let's give it up for Team that Black American 2G, the only undefeated team in the league. The Kings, the champions, the team we all love to hate because they always find a way to win. Y'all earned this one. Now let's see if you can keep it up. All right, let's give some love to the heroes of Week 5, the players who carried y'all to victory while the rest of us were out here drowning in LS. Rico Dowdle, 33.6 PTs, the waiver wire hero we didn't know we needed. If you didn't pick him up, you're the reason your team is 1-4, and we don't associate with losers. Jamar Chase, 33 PTs, garbage time god, fantasy savior, and the reason your opponent is crying in the group chat right now. Geno Smith, 33 PTs. Geno Smith proving that even a blind squirrel finds a nut sometimes. And this week, that nut was 33 fantasy points. CJ Stroud, 33 PTs. Stroud versus the Ravens JV team. A matchup for the ages. And by ages, I mean a defense so bad it should come with a warning label. Dak Prescott, 31.8 PTs. Dak's MVP campaign is in full swing. Jerry Jones might actually pay him what he's worth. Nah, just kidding. Jerry's still cheap as hell. If you benched any of these guys, you deserve the L. No excuses, no sympathy, just shame. Now let's talk about the bench mob. The players who were riding the pile on your starting lineup was out here losing you the week. Matthew Stafford, 31 PTs. Stafford out here throwing bombs like he's still in his 20s. Meanwhile, your starting QB is probably named Gardner Minshew. Tua Tagovailoa, 27.5 slot, 1-5 PTs. Tua wet out Tyreek. Hold my coconut water. I'm about to throw 3 TDs. And throw them he did. Abra Romeo Doubs. 23 PTs. Doubs, the king of I only score when you bench me. If you started him, you're either a genius or a liar. There is no in between. Hey, bro, yo, bench this week, 81.5 points. Yo, starting lineup, hold my beer. We're about to lose you the week. If this ain't a sign to trust your bench more, I don't know what is. And now the Bus Bowl, the players who had us all hype and then left us high and dry. Quentin Johnston, 1.9 PTs from WR1 in the making to WR1 in the waiting room real quick. If you started him, you got the fantasy equivalent of a participation trophy, 1.9 points. James Cook, 5.9 PTs, Cook's week 5, proof that even the best RBs can turn into a pumpkin if the game script says so. And this week, the script said bench me. Seahawks DST, -1 PTs. The Seahawks DST, the only unit that can make Baker Mayfield look like Tom Brady, and not in a good way. If you started Johnston, Cook, and the Seahawks defense, you're legally required to sit in the fantasy timeout corner. And think about what you've done. All right, let's talk standings because we got kings, we got jokers, and we got everybody in between. The undefeated team that Black American 2G 5-0. Let's take a moment to praise team that Black American 2G, the only undefeated team in the league. 5 weeks in, and they're still standing tall while the rest of us out here scrambling for scraps. They've beaten everybody in their path, including a Team Greatness squad that tried to outsmart the system and almost pulled it off. Almost. Hey, bro. They're not just winning, they're dominating. And they're doing it with style, with swagger, with the kind of confidence that makes the rest of the league question their life choices. So here's to you, Team That Black American 2G. May your lineup stay healthy, your opponent stay salty, and your undefeated streak stay intact. The winless team welcome to death row, 0-5. If you're on this team, it's time to start tanking for that top waiver wire pick. Or just quit. We won't judge. But seriously, maybe start tanking. Hey, bro, in the middle of the pack, team not like us. Here we go again. Team Mama T's Wranglers 3-2, the fantasy football version of Who Blinks First. Spoiler, it's probably you. If you're 0-5, it's time to start blaming your losses on bad luck or the algorithm, or just accept that the fantasy gods have abandoned you. Either way, our thoughts and prayers are with you. All right, let's look ahead to week 6, because we got revenge games, we got rivalry clashes, and we got a battle for undefeated supremacy. Team Here We Go Again versus Team That Black American 2G, the game of the week. The Clash of the Titans. Team Here We Go Again coming off a 168-point explosion versus Team That Black American 2G, the last undefeated team. This ain't just a matchup, it's a statement game. Who's the real alpha of this league? We're about to find out. Prediction Team Here We Go Again drops another 150-point game. Team That Black American 2G catches the L they should have caught last week if Team Greatness wasn't trying to make fantasy football great again and somebody's phone finally ends up in their TV. Team Mama T's Wranglers versus Team Not Like Us, a clash of titans, a battle for supremacy, a game that'll decide who's the real team to beat in the West. Team Mama T's Wranglers are hot, but Team Not Like Us is not like the rest of us. Who comes out on top? Place your bets. Week 5 was wild, y'all. We saw blowouts, we saw bench heroes, and we saw Team That Black American 2G prove why they're the only undefeated team in the league. They outlasted a legendary scheme. They outplayed their opponents, and they're still standing tall. But the season ain't over yet. And if there's one thing we know, it's that in this league, anything can happen. But next week, we got revenge games, we got rivalry clashes, and a battle for undefeated supremacy. Don't miss it, because if you do, you might just wake up on the wrong end of a 150-point blowout. This is Darrell Fields reminding you it's not just about winning, it's about winning with style. And if you can't do that, at least make your opponent suffer. See y'all next week.